My hips are very tight. I don't know about yours. Make your yoga experience with me about you. So other options that I may throw in, if they work for you, great. If they don't work for you, great. It won't hurt my feelings at all if you need something or decide to take something different than what I suggest, because it is your yoga experience. I want you to be able to enjoy where you're at right now and enjoy the journey and movement forward and not feel like you should do something that maybe is suggested but your body's not ready for, if that makes sense. So whatever needs to be, let it be. So I like sitting on a block because my hips are tight. If you choose to try a block, you move upholstery out of the way if you need to. So you're sitting right where the hip bones come down. So then gravity works with the knees, they just kind of fall to the side, wherever you are most comfortable. And sitting tall, nice and tall, lifting the crown of the head to the ceiling. Okay, please. I don't know if we're about to hear somebody leave a message or not. I forgot there was a phone in there. All right. So as we sit tall, letting the crown of the head reach through the ceiling, letting our shoulders roll back and down. Maybe we do a couple of big circles with the shoulders. Just kind of opening up the chest as we bring them back and then setting them down. Letting the hands relax at our side or on our back. Noticing where our neck, chin, ear alignment may be. We tend to jut our chin forward. If so, let's bring the chin back and bring the ears back so they sit right over the shoulders. And as we continue to sit tall, the ears are over the shoulders, are over the hips. So we're not sitting leaning too far forward or too far back, but nice and stable, very long through the spine. And then thinking about where we are sitting and the muscles we are sitting on, and lifting the pelvic floor muscles up and into our abdominal cavity. And as we breathe out, we push the belly in just below the belly button so that our lower abdominal muscles engage. Pelvic floor muscles are lifted and engaged. We solidify the core, starting with that foundation. And we find the balance between softness and strength. So our core remains straight. All of our abdominal muscles are very active and engaged, but not so strong and rigid that we lose the movement of our breath. So as we breathe in, we feel the belly and the ribcage expand. As we breathe out, we feel the belly and the ribcage close in, shrinking it a little bit. And we focus on our breath, in and out through the nose, remaining tall, maintaining our core engagement, starting to smooth out our breath, pacing our breath so the length of each inhale matches the length of each exhale. So maybe we breathe in for a count of 3 or 4, and we want our exhale, breathing out to be that same count. And as we breathe, we just notice, what is our body trying to say? Are we more aware now of maybe a little tension or twitch somewhere that we need to pay attention to? And And as those little things start popping up and saying they need a little care, we give ourselves permission to take care of whatever our body needs. We let go of any expectations or judgments, and we just experience what is. We give ourselves permission to let go of any worries or concerns that we might have carried around with us today. Knowing that when our time is done, we can pick that up again if we need to. We may find it's something we can just leave by and let it go. So giving ourselves permission to take care of self, both body and heart. Let's bring gentle movement into the body with our breath. So we'll take the right arm, and keeping the elbow close to the body, reach straight up. Maintain your strong core, and as we exhale, we bring the arm back down into our right. Switching sides with our breath, inhaling as we lift, reaching out of the body, exhale as we lower. If you've ever seen your pet, whether you have a cat or a dog, stretch, and they get that full extension on their little legs, stretch like that. Full extension of the arm. You might even feel the side of the ribs open up a little bit. If we're reaching up with our right, you might feel the left side close down a little bit as we stretch the right side. That's okay. And as we reach, let's start looking up at our hand. So we've got a little neck movement coming in as well. Continuing to maintain a strong core. Breathing, inhaling as we lift, exhale as we lower. And one more each side. With our hands back on our lap. Inhaling tall again. As we exhale, let's twist to our right. So belly turns, rib cage, neck and head, looking over our right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twisting to our left. And back to center. Going only as far into the twist as the strength of our core allows. So if it's just a little bit, that's okay. Maybe we go deeper each time as our muscles get used to the movement. Letting the shoulders sink lower, sliding them into our back pocket so we maintain length through our neck, length in our spine, space between each vertebrae. And last time, coming back to center. Inhaling the arms up and in front of us, and let's reach. So we feel the chest close in a little bit. We feel the shoulders start to round. Feel a stretch behind the shoulder blades maybe. And then let's bring the shoulders back and down and set them firmly in place. Bring the arms out to our side. Let's reach towards the wall on either side of us. Palms are up. Pushing the elbows straight. Do we feel our neck tense up? If so, let's ask it to calm down and think about the muscles under the arms pushing up. So we're pushing the arms up to support them rather than trying to pull them up with our neck and shoulders. And now the neck can breathe a little bit. And then keeping the shoulders down and very broad, let's bring the arms back in front of us. Keeping the shoulders in place. Let's exhale, push the belly in, rounding back, reaching forward, tucking the tailbone and the chin, looking at our belly, almost like a seated cat. If you know the cat-cow flow. And let's inhale, lifting the heart. Bring the arms, shoulders back. Tall through the spine again. Shoulders are broad and down. Lifting the chest like we have a fish hook under the sternum, lifting us up. And exhale, rounding, tucking, reaching, getting that nice stretch on the back. And inhale, lifting, coming back up to seated. Maybe we open the arms a little bit, letting the shoulder blades move closer together. Exhale, rounding and tucking. Inhale, lifting. And one more time. And this time, as we are rounded forward, let's interlace the fingers, turn the palms to face the wall in front of us, and then lean to the left a little bit. Keep pushing the arms forward. You feel that stretch. Move to just underneath our left shoulder blade. And then back to center, and then to the right. Letting the shoulders relax down. Pushing the arms forward. Back to center. Inhaling, lifting up. Bring the hands behind us with loose fists, thumbs on the outside. Placing the thumbs just above the hip bones on either side of the spine. Gently pressing the knuckles into the back, right at the low back. Lifting the heart higher, dropping the shoulders lower. And then as we are able, moving the elbows closer together. You feel the shoulder blades draw towards each other even more. Maybe we stay here. If we need more stretch through the chest, we can interlace the hands and straighten the arms. The hands dropping low behind our hips, locking the shoulder blades onto the back a little bit more. Letting the neck and head relax so the chin can move towards the ceiling. And release. Starting to feel a little loosened up. Sitting a little taller. How's everyone's neck feeling? Can you do some neck stretches? Missed it before you came in. So now we've kind of loosened up a little bit. We have a little bit better alignment, a little bit better posture with our shoulders down. Keeping them down and relax the ears right over the shoulders, shoulders over the hip. Let's drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Sink those shoulder blades even lower. And inhale upright. 2 more times that side, dropping the ear and lifting up. And last time we drop the ear, pause here for a moment. And then turn to look down at our hip pocket. We feel the stretch move to the back of our neck. And then turning and looking up at the ceiling. The ears still drop to the shoulders, shoulders still low. You feel the stretch move a little bit towards the front side of our neck. Moving our gaze to center again, and then inhale and upright. Let's exhale, dropping the left ear to the left shoulder. And inhale upright. 2 more times, exhale as we lower. Inhale as we lift. Exhale as we drop. And pausing here, turning to look down at our left hip pocket. And stretch along the side of our neck on the right. Letting the shoulders sink lower. Letting that stretch get into that open space. And then turning with our ears still at our shoulder, turning our gaze up towards the ceiling. And then turning our gaze center again, inhaling as we come up. Wherever we are, let's slide forward. Off our block if we were on it. With our hands directly underneath our shoulders, feet pressing tops of our feet strong into the mat, knees directly underneath the hips. Spreading our fingers wide, letting the backs of the knuckles press into the mat just as firmly as the heel of the hand. And pushing the floor away from us with our knees, our feet, and our hands. Let's lengthen the spine, push the belly button up into the low back, lift the pelvic floor. Shoulders are broad, they're on our back. We're not pinching the shoulder blades together, but we're not caving the chest either. If I were to set my cup of coffee on your back, would it spill? Elise is looking at me like, what? Looking in the mirror, but looking in the mirror. So we want to engage the core. Look down again, make sure the knees are right under the hips. Finding our stability. And then moving into a spinal balance. We're going to extend the right arm and or left foot, left leg. Fingertips and toes can remain on the mat or as high as the hip and the shoulder. It does not matter. Our focus, our goal is to maintain a strong spine and long tabletop, so back down to our starting point. So if we just need to focus on one movement to maintain that strong core and level spine and back, that's perfectly okay. My cup of coffee is on your back, don't spill it. I love my coffee. So inhaling as we lift, maybe we can lift the arm, but we need to keep the toes on the mat, that's okay too. And back to center. Moving with our breath, whatever your pace for your breathing may be. Inhaling as we lift, exhale as we lower. And moving and breathing. Steadying the midsection. Continuing to push the floor away from us. Reaching long to try to touch the wall in front of us and behind us. If we are lifting our leg, we're engaging our glute to help lift the leg so the back does not get involved. And we can stay with this. Or if we'd like to kick it up a notch, we can pause for a second. We'll come back to that so we can stay with that. Or we can turn it into a little bit of a side plank flow. So if we want to do that, and all of this is targeting just the stability of our core, wanting to keep that core nice and stable. So if we need to stay here with our spinal balance, that's okay. If we want to go into a side plank rotation, we would kickstand one leg off to the side, and as we inhale, we're opening up towards the ceiling, trying to get shoulder on top of shoulder, stacking hip on top of hip, and exhale back to our starting point. Engaging the glutes, keeping the hips forward so we're not bending ourselves. We've got a nice straight line. So wherever we need to be for working on our current level of stability, maybe we stay here. Inhale as we lift, exhale as we lower. Maybe we go into a rotating side plank. Exhale as we lift. Inhale as we lift. Exhale as we lower. Wherever we need to be. Breathing through our movements. One more each side, and we'll sink back into child's pose. Within child's pose, the knees are as far apart as we need for comfort. We sink the hips down. We can reach our arms long, or we can stack our fists or forearms and rest our forehead on them. Breathing into our abdomen, feeling the belly expand, even up to the side if we're kind of folded up. As we breathe out, we feel the hips soften and sink a little bit more. We feel the heart melt towards the floor a little bit more. We give our body permission to completely relax. Child's pose is also an option in place of downward facing dog. So when we're in that pose, we're going through our sun salutation, we have this option if we need to take it. So wherever we are, let's reach our arms long in front of us. Spreading the hands, the backs of the knuckles pressing firmly into the mat. Lifting the pelvic floor up into the abdominal cavity again. Let's power lift our core. Inhale, bringing our shoulders over our wrists. Our knees are behind the hips, the tops of our feet pressing firmly into the mat. So first option for plank, if we'd rather curl the toes under and come into a straight leg plank, that's perfectly fine as well. Let's bend our elbows, letting them face the wall behind us as we come down as far as our strength controls, about halfway into crocodile. And then inhale, drop the hips, lift the heart forward, press the tops of the feet into the mat very firmly again. Lift the belly button into cobra. So cobra is not using the support of our arm. Sphinx puts our elbows right under the shoulders for a little extra support, if that's where our low back needs a little extra support. Look like you were popping into upward facing dog for a moment.
Yeah.
So upward facing dog, tops of the feet are pressing strong into the floor. Hands are strong under the shoulders. Legs are off the mat. The thighs just skimming above the mat. Let's press back into child's pose. So 3 options there. All of them focusing on that core strength, strengthening the back. So listen to what your back is telling you as far as which option you need to take. And if you switch it up during the course of a class, it's perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. So wherever we are with plank, cobra, sphinx, or upward facing dog, we want to make sure that the spine has a nice, beautiful swoop to it, that we're not trying to bend or fold the spine into it. We're letting the strength, the current strength of our low back support us and tell us how far we're going to go. So from our child's pose, let's inhale plank, knees up or down. Exhale crocodile, moving through our flow a couple of times. Inhale, cobra, sphinx or up dog, whichever option you need today. Exhale, pushing back and down, child's pose. If we would prefer downward facing dog, we have that option. Straight legs, hips up in the air. Inhale, plank, moving through our vinyasa, our flow. Exhale, crocodile. Inhale, cobra. Whichever option you're taking today. Exhale, back, child's pose or down dog. Last time through, inhale, plank. Exhale, crocodile. Inhale, whichever cobra, sphinx, or up dog option you need. Exhale, up and back, down dog. Walking our feet to join the hands. In forward fold, let's bend the knees. Feet are parallel to each other. Body weight is in the heel and the ball of the foot. And as we inhale, long spine, pushing the floor away from us, coming up and into mountain. As we exhale, we open the chest, open the heart. Taking the hands behind the back, loose fists like we did earlier. Or straight arms, whichever option we need, adding a little bit more openness into our chest. You ladies look like you're ready to pick it up into a good sun salutation. Am I reading you right?
Yes.
She didn't hesitate.
Ready.
You saw that, right?
We're ready.
She didn't hesitate. I used to have a group of ladies He's like, yes, let's do 10. And everybody would look at me. She's like, well,
I didn't
I'll do
do
2, and you do 2, and you do 2, and it adds up to 10. Yeah, nice math. All right. So if you like having a block handy for a little bit of hand support, we have that option. So much of that depends. It just depends on where your current flexibility and stability may be. So from mountain at the top of the mat, inhaling nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Hello, hamstrings. How are they feeling? We need to loosen them up a little bit more, or we're okay? Nobody's saying anything. All right, so let's place the hands on the mat, stepping back. Right foot, then left. Nice long step into downward facing dog. Moving into our vinyasa again. Inhale, plank. Exhale, crocodile. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Option here, if we choose for 3-leg dog, we squeeze the right glute to lift the right leg, bend the knee, open the hip, keeping the core engaged the whole time. Nice stretch through the hip, and then sweeping the foot to the outside of the right hand. If we need the block for support here, we bring the block to the inside of the right foot. Yeah, help the foot up before we get up into our lunge. So the right foot is up. We want to get the knee above or behind the ankle. Just help protect the angle of that knee. So our body weight is in our front foot, in the ball of the foot, and the heel. Noticing the hips before we lift up. Are they level or are they kind of cockeyed? We want to push the right hip back, the left hip forward, activating the glutes very firm. We want to engage the core so that we can bring our hand off the block and we don't go anywhere. The support isn't in our arms. It's the steadiness of our legs and the strength of our core. So the block is just fingertips. Maybe we stay here. Maybe we need to drop our left knee. That's okay. Wherever we are. Inhale, bring arms thigh, heart center, or reaching overhead. Breathing in our lunge. Wherever we are, back knee is up or down. Exhale, sinking the hips a little bit more, deepening that stretch, but at the same time, maintaining that strength. We're pushing the legs, the feet, opposite each other. If you tear your mat in half, with that energy and that force, we stop class and I take everybody to dinner. Exhale, hands back to the mat. Let's step up, forward fold. Inhale, mountain. Exhale, chair. So knees are apart, feet are parallel. Can we lift our toes? And we set our toes back down. Here's some fun. We lift our heels. Balancing chair. Firing up those quads. Strengthening the muscles in our lower leg and our ankles. If we choose, we can extend the arms. We need to drop the knees back or the feet back down. That's okay. And exhale, pushing up into mountain. So it's half of one round. We got to the other side. Exhale, forward fold. Stepping back, left foot, nice and long. Then right foot, down dog or child's pose if we need to take that option. Inhale, plank. Exhale, crocodile. Inhale, lifting up into cobras. We drop the hips, press the tops of the feet strong into the mat. Everything's very active. Exhale, up and back, down dog. If we choose the option for 3-leg dog with the left glute engaged, lifting the left leg, bending the knee, opening the hip. Nice stretch there. Sweeping the foot to the outside of the left hand, helping it up if we need to. Block is light fingertip support. Leveling the hips, pushing the right hip forward, left hip back. Dropping the right knee if you need to. So the work is in the legs and the core. Block is just minimal fingertip support wherever we are. Maybe we come to our hands at our thigh. Heart center, we're reaching overhead. Full extension into our lunge. Deepening that stretch through our hip flexor. Exhale, sinking the hips a little deeper. breathing. And as we exhale, the hands come back to the mat, stepping up, forward fold. Inhale, coming up into our mountain. Exhale, chair. Balancing chair if we choose. So if we choose with the heels. Dropping the heels, pushing up mountain. And let's exhale, just the right arm down. Continue to reach higher with the left, really opening the side of the ribcage. Feeling that beautiful stretch. Reaching the right arm through the floor. Bring the shoulder blades towards each other so the heart unfolds. Inhaling up. Exhale, dropping the left arm down, reaching through the floor with the left arm, through the ceiling with the right. Bring the shoulder blades towards each other. Unfolding the heart. Inhaling from left. Exhale, opening the heart. Hands coming behind our back. One more time. Relaxing the head and neck back. Maybe we interlace the fingers and straighten the arms. Whatever option we need. Opening the chest, relaxing the head back. And releasing. How are we feeling? How energized do we feel?
I use yoga always make me yawn.
You're breathing.
I know.
Yes.
My eyes water.
Breathe. I don't care if you yawn through the whole class. Body needs that oxygen. Breathe it in. Breathe it in. Oh, I did put peace and calming in the diffuser, so breathe it in. All right, so let's turn sideways on the mat. And visit warrior two. I have not learned all of the Sanskrit terms for everything, for all of the poses, so I'm not sure. Mountain is Tadasana, crocodile is Chaturanga. Final relaxation at the end, you can call it corpse pose if you want to, but that's Savasana. I don't know warrior two. So we will start by standing wingspan. So about the length of our wrists and arms are out. So that's about where we want our ankles, our toes to generally be. And releasing the arms. Let's start with a nice stretch. So toes are towards the front or just slightly angled. Keeping the legs strong. Let's encourage the knees to rotate outwards. So feeling the muscles in the upper legs opening up. And then let's send the tailbone to the wall behind us. The spine stays long. Everybody on Zoom, you see my backside up in the air. We have a block for like hand support if we need. We should feel a nice stretch down the inside of our legs. And the backs a little bit. Standing straddle split. So if we need a deeper stretch, and we're able to maintain our core engagement and our spinal alignment nice and long, we can sink deeper into it by bending the elbows, keeping our hands on the block or the mat, dropping the heart a little bit lower. We want to avoid locking the knee. So let's inhale wherever we are, coming back up, all the way up. Nice stretch through here. So warrior two. Let's pivot our left toes to face the long edge of the mat. Our right toes to face the short edge of the mat. And like we did at the beginning, roll shoulders down and back. Push the elbows up. And then flip just the palms over. Trying our best to touch the wall on either side of us. So noticing before we do anything with the legs. Are we leaning one way or the other? Are we half bent? Let's scoot the tailbone, get the hips, shoulders, and ears in alignment. Shoulders are broad. And then as we're ready, bending only the right knee. So the right knee comes over the ankle. If we look down, we should be able to still see our big toe. If we need to scoop the foot out a little bit, that's okay. Thinking about opening the hips, bringing the legs, rotating them outward. Noticing, are we leaning into it? It's very easy to lean when we start that bend. The ears over shoulders over hips. Do the hips stay in alignment with the long edge of the mat, or have they turned and we're kind of leaning, turning the hips towards our right knee? So let's push the tailbone underneath us, kind of push the right hip forward, left hip back, bring ourselves parallel to the long edge of the mat. Warrior two, strong work into the feet, grounding us, trying to push the mat apart. If you rip it in half, the promise is always there. First person who ever does, we stop class for dinner. So we have an option. We can bend the right elbow, drop it to our thigh, and reach straight up with the left arm. Extended angle, first option for extended ankle. Angle. We want to make sure we're keeping the hips forward, so activating the glutes. Now the right arm is just resting there. We're not putting our body weight into it. We're pushing the pelvic floor up, pushing the legs down. A lot of dynamic muscle tension working here. Inhale, coming back up. Let's flip our right palm up. Now leaning across the right leg, and then sweeping them up. Reverse warrior. So our right knee is still bent. That was a beautiful triangle. That's okay. Right knee is still bent. And I'm opposite you guys. I'm not mirroring you, so yeah, sorry. So we've got that openness to the side of the rib cage. And coming back up, warrior two, straightening the right leg, releasing the arms, pivoting the right toes to face the long edge of the mat. Feel a little off balance yet? Shoulder okay? Is the up and the, is that aggravating
No, it's like,
in the back?
yeah.
Your neck too? Yeah, nice. All right. Switch to the other side. Pivoting the left toes to face the long edge of the mat. Right toes facing, left toes face the short edge, right toes face the long edge. I know what I mean. I'm sorry, it's not coming out quite. Noticing if the hips want to move, getting them in alignment. Shoulders down and back, pushing the elbows up, flipping the palms to face the floor, reaching for the wall opposite. Shoulders are broad, core strong. And when we're ready, bending the left knee. So our whole body moves with us as we bend that left knee. So ears stay over, shoulders stay over hip. We're not leaning into it. Squeezing, activating the glutes, keeping the hips tucked a little bit. We don't want our backside sticking out. Sinking into this a little bit more with every exhale. If we look down, we can't see our big toes. We want to encourage our left knee back. Maybe we need to scoot our foot and adjust our stance a little bit. That's okay. I'm going to turn so that our Zoom people can see. Because I didn't realize I was at such an angle. So knee is bent. So moving into our extended angle, bending the left elbow, bringing it to our left thigh as we reach straight up. So again, that left arm, it's just resting. We're not leaning into our arm. It's the strength of our legs, even body weight distribution between the feet. Can we lift our big toes? We don't want to grip the mat. Heel of the foot, ball of the foot, strong in our legs. And inhaling back up to our warrior two. Flipping our left palm, reaching across the left leg. And then sweeping the left arm up, right arm is down. We still have the hips tucked, reaching up into our reverse warrior. Feeling that openness on this left side of the body. Letting the right arm reach towards the floor, the shoulder away from the ear. Still breathing, right? She's gonna sleep good tonight. And inhaling back up to our warrior two. Straightening the arms, the legs, pivoting the left toes to face the long edge of the mat again. And let's hinge at the hip, coming into our standing straddle split one more time. If we choose, we can walk our hands to our right ankle. Pulling the heart past the toes, keeping the spine long. Feel that weight or the stretch shift a little bit more into the right leg. Breathing into it. And walking our hands back to center. Leveling the hips again. And then walking our hands to the left ankle. Feeling that stretch shift into the back of the left leg. Pulling our heart past the toes. Breathing into it. And then walking the hands back to center. Bending the knees. Let's bring our hands flat to the mat. And then gently squeeze our heels in a little bit, heel toe, to a point where we can safely drop one foot back behind us and come down, stepping down into child's pose. Letting the knees go as wide as is comfortable, sinking into the mat. Noticing, are we sinking a little deeper? We've got the blood moving. We've got the hips very nicely stretched with our warrior pose. So maybe we're sinking a little deeper. Continue to let the hips release as we breathe into them. And then when you're ready, swing the legs around and come into seated, grabbing your strap if you've got one. And let's sit in butterfly. Let's start here. Soles of the feet together. Stay nice and tall, and maybe we're holding our ankles. Straighten the arms, drawing the shoulder blades back. Pressing the sides of the feet down into the mat. And trying to scoot the tailbone forward to touch our heels. But you feel all those muscles activate. Put the hips open a little bit more. Beautiful stretch. If you know you have tight hip flexors, and you're just kind of relaxing at home, watching TV or something, go ahead and sit on the floor, pop into butterfly. And if you know you have tight hamstrings, you can do what we're about to do next. So let's straighten the right leg, pushing the heel forward. We have a strap. It is an option. You can bring the strap around the ball of the foot and use it as a guide. We want to keep the toes up and centered. We want to push the heel forward. The arms are nice and straight, the spine is long, and we want to hinge from the hip. So the tailbone moves to the wall behind us. We bring the arms wide as our torso moves towards our knee and our toes. So if we don't have a strap, that's okay. You can walk your hands down the leg. So wherever we go, I don't know the Sanskrit term for this one. I like to call it, I do my own pedicure. So the more we push our heel forward and push our hips towards the wall behind us, the more you're going to feel that stretch in the back of the leg, maybe even in the glute a little bit, depending on how tight some of your muscles may be. Now, if we can bring the bottom of our ribs all the way to the thigh, so the low back is supported, then round the upper back. And then we call it a very practical head to knee pose. Inhale up. Let's bring the left knee up. And as we exhale, twist towards our left. Holding the pose, breathing into the twist. Maybe with each exhale, we go a little further. And coming back to center. Bring the right knee in, back into butterfly. And extending the left leg as we sit nice and tall. If we're using a strap, bring it around the ball of the foot. Letting the right knee just relax. Sitting tall and using the strap as a guide as we hinge from the hip. Moving our heart closer to our knee and our toes. We're trying not to pull ourselves with the arms, but just kind of widening the strap, widening our arms, using kind of guide us, ease us into the stretch. The more we push our heel forward, the more we feel the hamstrings. If we can bring our ribs to our thighs, we can round the upper body over, dropping the head. And inhaling, coming upright. Bringing the right knee up. And as we exhale, twisting to our right. And coming back to center. Back into butterfly. So we're going to take a lying down pigeon option. Are you guys familiar with pigeon? Have you done pigeon before? So we're going to do this laying down because we'll go from this directly into our final relaxation. So basically, I'll just show you from here since it's just easier to see the demo here. You're basically going to take this and just do it while lying down. So you'll cross the ankle over one knee, bring the leg in like this, but you're laying on your back to do it. So let's start with the right ankle over the left knee. Opening the right knee as far as our hips allow. Relaxing the shoulders down and then bring the left leg into the body. Bring the hands behind the left thigh. Hugging the leg in as we continue to let the right knee open. Start to feel that stretch on our outer right hip and thigh. Deep into some of those glute muscles. The more we can pull that leg in, the deeper the stretch we'll get. Breathing into the stretch. We don't want to hold our breath in it. Every exhale, we let the body release a little bit more into that stretch. So holding it as long as your body needs to feel that stretch, start to release, and then we switch sides. And we'll bring the left ankle over the right knee, opening the left knee to the side. Hugging the legs in, bring the hands behind the right thigh, pulling the leg towards the torso, letting the left knee continue to open. Feeling the stretch, the outer left hip and thigh.
Breathing into the stretch.
Holding it as long as our body needs so we can start to feel the tightness release. And then when we're ready, letting go, bring both feet to the mat. And from here, listening to our body. If it needs to stay here, knees bent, that's okay. If we need to hug the knees in again, rock the low back side to side. Finish rolling that out a little bit. Maybe we open the knees into a lying down butterfly, the soles of the feet coming together. Maybe we extend the legs long. If our low back feels a little uncomfortable, maybe we keep the knees bent, lift the hips and slide the block right underneath the hips. So that the spot on our hips where the spine and our pelvic bones meet is firmly supported on the side of the block. Wherever we are, closing the eyes, breathing deeply. Feeling the muscles in our forehead soften, smooth out, and around the eyes, and in the jaw. Letting the tongue hang loose in the mouth. Letting the neck release. Softening. The shoulders sliding away from the ears and sinking into the mat. The arms going heavy at our side. Feeling the gentle rise and fall of our chest and abdomen with every breath. Feeling the hips soften. Releasing a little bit more as the legs and the feet go heavy. The hips unfolding so the legs kind of turn outward, the feet flopping open. So we're not holding the legs in or the feet in, we're just letting the body go. And as we breathe in, we let that breath, as it enters the body, travel throughout our extremities, finding those little pockets of stress and tension that might still be hiding. Grasp it with the breath. And as we exhale, we allow it to leave the body with our breath. So every breath in and every breath out, we find ourselves sinking deeper and deeper into the mat, completely and totally relaxed. ready, we bring gentle movement back into the body. Wiggling fingers and toes, turning the head side to side, pulling the knees into the chest one more time, hugging them in as we roll side to side, and then turning onto one side, spreading our head and our arms. We breathe deeply a few more moments, letting our body absorb all the good that we just gave it. And then as we're ready, we gently press ourselves up to seated. Legs crossed, however is most comfortable. Eyes closed, hands relaxed in our lap. Taking a moment to orient ourselves to being upright. And then with both arms at our side, we inhale, bring them up and overhead. One more deep breath in together. And as we exhale, we bring the hands to heart center. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight. I hope you have a wonderful evening and a wonderful remainder of the week. Namaste. Thank you for joining us.